Hey guys, so I've finally made a channel on Authortube. My name is Martha Pennington. My pen name is W Pennington. I also have another channel. I'm actually not new to YouTube. If you want to check out my art, if you're into painting that's related to mental health, go ahead and check out my other channels down below in the description. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this new author tag. So let's start with the first question. How did you find Authortube? Well, it was kind of like a process. I found someone called Hurt Breathings. It's ran by Sarah Cannon, who is a indie author, and she created a YouTube to help authors, and she's self-published. And it kind of went down the line. I ended up finding Alexa Dunn, and then it just snowballed from there. And then, oh my God, I found Cathrynne Valente, which I love it because, being a queer author is just, don't have many of them. So I just found all, and then I think there's Ginger. I can't remember the rest of her name, but Ginger. And then there's a bunch of others that I found. And so I decided to do this. What genre do you write in? Let's see if I can say this right. My genre is essentially queer, urban fantasy, romance. Very narrow, but what is your preferred tense POV category? Well, I'm kind of new to the, POVs. My first book that I'm actually currently working on is only one character's perspective, but I'm gonna go to two because I realized that one is just not enough. So, but my favorite tense is past tense. I just don't like, I've never liked reading books that are present tense, and it's always first person past tense. That's how I prefer to write. Oh, and the category is adult. I don't write young adult fiction. I write adult erotica, so there is a lot of sexual activity in my books. So this is, my channel's definitely, my books on my channel are definitely not for children. Are you a plotter or a pantser? I'm probably a plotter. I'd say about 80% plotter, 20% pantser. I have to plan out the whole book, use character sheets, the plotting system, index cards. But then if I'm writing and something changes, I don't stick to my plot. So I'm a plotter. Okay, what publishing company are you presented by? I'm not represented by anyone. I'm new to writing. I haven't figured out if I want to become, traditionally published or self-published because I don't really know where my genre fits. On top of being a queer author and doing erotica, I'm not sure where that fits in the publishing world, the traditionally publishing world. So I might end up doing self-publishing. I'm not 100% sure yet. When did you start writing and what was your first story? Okay, so I've been writing most of my life, but I've been reading longer. I've always been good at writing, at least in the school sense. But I never sat down to write a book because I never thought I was good enough. The stories that I read, I loved them, I fell in love with them, but I never thought that I could match up to these authors. I didn't think I could do it. So I never even tried. I got to high school, I started writing a little bit of poetry here or there, but I also had a very big self-confidence issue, so I stopped. Now I've been watching all these author-tubers and I realized I've always wanted to write a book. I've always wanted to put my art into words as well as images. So my first story is the one I'm working on right now. I also did start with fan fiction. I'm a huge Malik fan, Magnus and Alec, which are the two queer individuals in Shadowhunt. I actually stopped writing fan fictions, so my fanfics are still up there, but on archive of our own. I want to write my own stories now, so. See, next question. What kind of videos can we expect from you? Reviews of books that I may be reading, but those will probably be far and few between because I'm writing a lot, so I don't read as much. But like in between my revising stage, because then I'm gonna put it away for like a month, and during that month I'll read books, and so you'll probably get a booktube type video where I'm recommending books or talking about books that I like. I'll tell you I enjoyed this book, this is the author, here's the book. You won't see a physical copy for me because I have everything on my Kindle because I have 500 books on my Kindle. My room is too small to have that many books, so it's just I've gotten used to using the Kindle. I'm one of the traditionalists where I do prefer physical books, but my space just doesn't allow for it. These are only books I have. So I used to have like 2 bookshelves full, but I'm totally getting off subject. I tend to go on tangents, so you're just gonna have to deal with that. Okay, but yeah, and I'm also going to do writing vlogs where I talk about, how many words I've written, the typical thing. I have nothing really new to share. I'm just from a different perspective of being queer and black and female-bodied. So, yeah. All right, the next one is what authors inspire you? Okay, so my first author would have to be Anne Rice. I've always loved Anne Rice. She is the queen of vampire stories. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, I do dislike Twilight. We're just gonna put that right out there. I do not like Twilight. No. Okay, so yeah, Anne Rice. And then there's Anne Bishop, which she does a lot of erotic fantasy, but it's more like fantasy. It's not like urban or anything. And I also enjoy Laurel K. Hamilton. I do like her Anita Blake series, but I think it's gone on for too long. I just lost interest in reading it after Mecca. But I do really love the Meredith Gentry series. I love the Fae, and I love the way that story was put together. So she's another inspiration. Now, currently, my other inspirations would have to be Cathrynne Valente. I think she's middle grade, but her prose are gorgeous. I mean, I know a lot of people are saying don't write purple prose, but her prose are gorgeous. It's like, her entire book is like metaphors. Everything is a metaphor, and she wraps her metaphors around different mythology, all shoved into the same world from different cultures. And it's all described by, metaphors, showing, not telling. It's just beautifully written literature. So she's another one that really, really inspires me and gets me excited about writing. Another author that I love is Lois Lowry, because I love The Giver. I love the movie too, which I was surprised they did so well. But The Giver, I never read the other four, which I have back here. But I'm gonna sit down one day and actually read the other is it four? No, other three. But yeah, I love The Giver. It was one of my favorite dystopian books. Another author I'd have to say is Cassandra Clare, because I love Shadowhunters. I know there's a lot of people who don't like it, but we're not going to get into that. We'll just agree to disagree. But yeah, I love the Shadowhunters series. My favorite character, like I said earlier, is Magnus and Alec. I love Magnus so much. And yeah, and I'm trying to remember what the other authors are, because there's so many. There's so many guys. Yeah. Other author, she's actually self-published, and I think she's European. Her name is Alexandra Hazard. She does male romances. She does a lot of straight to gay, and I love them because they're just beautifully written. Like, I just really, really enjoy the stories, and the way she writes the books is kind of the way my series is going to work, where you can read them as standalones, but they're all in the same world. Meaning the first book has characters that are in the second book, and those characters are the main characters, and then so on and so forth. So she has 9 books right now. I'll link her down below in the description. I love her. If you love straight to gay male romances, there you go. And also it has a lot of sex in them. So if you like erotica, then check out Alexandra Hazard. And she is available on Kindle Unlimited, so you don't have to pay for it if you pay individually for each book. Another author that I really love, which I'm actually a member of her group, is Kate Hawthorne. She is an author that writes a lot of BDSM, and I do enjoy her books because they're more realistic. I do not like 50 Shades of Grey, I'll just put that out there too. I am part of the BDSM community, so that book is very disrespectful to the entire community. But to find an author that writes it so well, even though she's not part of the community, she's earned my respect. So there's that one. And there's just so many authors, like I've missed so many, I can't even remember half their names. I have a lot of books. I'll just put it that way, I have a lot of books. Alright, next question. Do you schedule your writing sessions or write when you have time? Kind of both. I mean, I have a planner, I do work, but I do write at work because I do work in a call center, and those call center, it's a type of call center where I can have pen and paper. So I'll sit down and I'll plot out my characters. I don't actually type anything because I can't really get into the groove of writing in between calls, there's just not enough time in between. But yeah, I do tend to just schedule it out and work these days. I do sometimes skip if I'm just not in the mood, which I need to buckle down on that a little bit better, but yeah, a little bit of both. Next question. Do you type on your computer, type, or handwrite? Type. I respect those of you who can handwrite, because one, my handwriting is not good, and I hate looking at it. Secondly, it would make I swear I have carpal tunnel, because it would hurt my hand after a while. So I just prefer to type on my laptop. Okay, and where do I write? I write everywhere, like anywhere that I can sit down and have a long period of time, like coffee shops, my house, work, my mom's house. Doesn't matter where I am. If I have the time to sit there and actually work, I will. The last question: what are you looking forward forward to by being part of Authortube. I'm just looking for networking. I'm looking for friends. I'm looking for critique partners. I'm looking for beta readers. And I do want to kind of focus on the queer community in Authortube because there's not a very large community. And I want, you know, the queer community to know, and not just the queer community, but also the Black queer community, because that's even more of a narrow community, and we're just not talked about a lot in books. So, like, with my books, most of my characters are Black. I do have, like, white secondary characters and also white, you know, main characters who are with Black characters, but at least one of the main characters is Black, because we're just not represented very well in books, or very often in books. Plus, we're definitely not represented well in queer books. So, it's getting better, it's just there's not enough. Plus, most of the time when we're represented in queer books, we're written by white women. And it's the same thing with, you know, straight people who write queer books. It's just, I write a lot of male romances, so I know there's this whole thing with whether I should be writing it. I do identify as non-binary. You know, my books have different genders. Most of them are either gay men or bisexual men or non-binary. Yeah, I'm just rambling on. I was done with the questions. You know, I ramble a lot. But that's all for now, guys. I hope I can make friends. I hope I can talk with you guys. If you want to say hi, go ahead and comment down below in the description. If you are an author, say hi. I want to, you know, meet you. I want to talk with you. Maybe we can network. You know, critique partners. If you don't have one, if you definitely don't have one, if you're part of the queer community, I'd be happy to read your book. We can, you know, figure something out. Or if you're not any of those things and you just want to be part of my community, welcome. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Bye.